1. Приказываю двигаться в точку Альфа.
Today on the Minecraft Military Force, we're going to be reviewing builds from Anchor Shipbuilding Team, or Team Anchor. They are a legendary Korean Minecraft military building group with lots of cool builds and renders. They were quite prominent on Planet Minecraft back in the day. They had builders such as Nemesis, ZetaZeta, squirrel-friend, aurvandil, Anchor Yuki, Tong, and many others. Unfortunately, right now they aren't really active anymore, but I just want people to know about them. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. So first we'll take a look at squirrel-friend. This is this 3:1 scale modern aircraft carrier, and it looks a lot like the Ford, but this is a fictional ship used by the Republic of Korea Navy. You can see their flag right there. So it's not real, but it does look realistic. I really like how he does the renders. Pretty professional, it even has lighting. And on the deck we have an E2 taken off. Not to mention it also has an interior with a full hangar, so you can see all that equipment and jets. And here's a look at the back. Here we got the E2 Hawkeye, different models for the wings, as well as the drones. These ones look like the X-47B, and here's the F-35C, and some carrier vehicles like the crane. He also made a 3:1 scale HMS Vanguard. This is used by the Royal Navy during World War II. Here's a look at the turrets and all the different guns on top, very well detailed. And again, the presentation is just spectacular. Next is the USS Missouri. He said he actually spent 5 hours a day just working on this. He really wanted to give up, but after working on it for 3 weeks, he finally finished it, and the results are pretty amazing. And this is posted in 2017, which is actually 7 years ago, so even though it's really old, these builds still look pretty good. Another World War II US Navy ship is the USS Fletcher class destroyer. And here it is escorting some aircraft carrier as the Measure 22 camouflage with the blue line. And here's the ship by itself. Then we have CV-6. This is the Yorktown class USS Enterprise. And it's loaded with some F-4U Corsair fighter planes on the deck. Those are by Namsec. And here's how it looks like at night, the bird's eye view, and some other photos of it. And then we have a pair of A-10 Warhogs. And if this looks familiar, it's actually because it's on the Military Builders server page. Again, it's in 3:1 scale, and it's just filled with lots of missiles and bombs. This is an attack plane after all. And here's a squadron guarding an Airbus for some reason. Now, if you're tired of American stuff, here is the IJN Yamato. The largest battleship ever created, used by the Imperial Japanese Navy during World War II. I'm pretty sure everyone knows it. If you don't know, you must be living under a rock. And it also has an aircraft catapult here in the back. But apparently it's missing the bottom hull. Then we have the Republic of Korea Navy Sejong the Great Destroyer. It's pretty much the South Korean version of the R. Burke, with some helicopters flying above it. And we've got the Korean flag in the back. And apparently this is how he makes the ships. And he also dabbled in some ground vehicles. And here's his 10:1 scale tank. According to Stealthy, it's the most awesome tank he's ever seen in Minecraft. Definitely pretty cool though. Next up we have Namsec. Now he's also pretty well known. Here's the Russian Navy Sukhoi Su-33 carrier fighter jets with the brakes up, built in 10:1 scale. Privyet. And here's the Fleet of Fog Yamato from Arpeggio Blue Steel, which is an anime where they have these glowing ships that are incarnations of World War II ships. And yeah, it's just a military sci-fi show. And here's the World War II German railway gun, the Gustav, pointed up, built in 2:1 scale. And then here's the IJN Mikasa, the pre-dreadnought ship. It was used in the Russo-Japanese War and the only surviving Japanese battleship. And then we have the Shokaku sinking. This is an Imperial Japanese Navy aircraft carrier. And then we also have the IJN Taiho, another carrier. And the IJN Shinano, which was a converted Yamato class battleship into a carrier. And then we have the USS Enterprise, a Ford class aircraft carrier that's still under construction, but he's too impatient. We also have the Kriegsmarine Scharnhorst, the German battlecruiser. And he also built the Yamato. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of Yamatos in this video. And he also put it inside of a fleet. All these ships are pretty close together. And here's the USS Lexington, Lady Lex, a World War II aircraft carrier used by the US Navy with the fighter jets taking off and landing. And he also does some silly stuff like adding a twin-barrel Gustav railway gun on a Yamato, or making what he calls the Jaeger Giant, which is made up of a bunch of armored vehicles as a mecha. But there are way more ships to look at, like here's the Iowa-class battleship, and the Russian aircraft carrier the Admiral Kuznetsov with some Su-33 fighter jets on top. He also made this US Navy carrier battle group with the Zumwalt aircraft carrier, Arleigh Burks. And then we have the Russian Navy Sovremenny Soviet destroyer. Then we have the Pyotr Veliki Kirov-class battlecruiser of the Russian Navy, filled with lots of missiles, and paired with the Admiral Gorshkov, a Kiev-class aircraft-carrying cruiser. And then here's the German Navy U-boat U-511. And here is Prion Heavy Industries making some kind of a shipbuilding facility. And this is pretty creative, a Yamato model kit, where he actually made the sprues for it. And here's a Japanese I-401 aircraft-carrying submarine. And here's the Udaloy 2, a Russian anti-submarine warfare destroyer. And then we have IJN Yukikaze, a Kagero-class Imperial Japanese destroyer. And then here's the Golden Hind, an English sailing ship which circumnavigated the world. And this is interesting that he 3D printed a Minecraft I-401 and then converted it into a real-life model. And then here's the VK45.02. It's a German heavy tank, but it didn't actually enter service, as well as this tank. He also made the Krupp K5 railway gun. Then we have the mouse built in 4:1 scale, and then we're going to end it here with the sinking of the Yahagi. So now let's go check out ZetaZeta. Here we have a 10:1 scale K2 Black Panther used by the Republic of Korea Army. And then we have the 3:1 scale Yamato class battleship. I was right, they were going to see a lot more Yamatos. And he also made the Super Yamato class, the A150 variant, which would have had 20-inch guns. And he also has the Esserarolian class battleship used in space. So he also does like to dabble in military sci-fi. He also has this 1:1 scale Russian aircraft carrier, the Admiral Kuznetsov, which we've seen a lot. And the ship also does include an interior. And this guy also likes Arpeggio of Blue Steel. This is the submarine I-401. And here's it diving underwater. He also made the Takao heavy cruiser and the Mutsu class battleship from World War II. And here's a fictional ship he calls the Mary, and I don't know who this belongs to. And here's the French Navy Richelieu class battleship, the Jean Bart. And here's the Japanese I-104 submarine, the diving, and coming up to the surface, really cool renders. Then we have the USS Brooklyn, a light cruiser from World War II, and the USS New Mexico battleship. Then we have this fictional Breeze class destroyer, influenced by Arleigh Burke and Sejong the Great. Then here's the Wehrmacht Stu H-42, which is related to the Stug 3, and the Tiger II tank in 10:1 scale. And here's Kirishima, a Kongo class battlecruiser. And for a Mobile Suit Gundam, this is an M61A5 main battle tank. And now we've reached Tong. So here's the IJN Zuikaku, it's a Shokaku class aircraft carrier along with the sister ship. And here's the Fuso class battleship, the Yamashiro. The IJN Unryu, the Alaska class cruiser, USS Alaska. The HMS King George V battleship. HMS Victorious, a World War II carrier. The USS Hornet aircraft carrier. The Takao cruiser. The USS Hornet again, but this time this is in the 1960s. The USS North Carolina fast battleship. The World War II Akizuki class destroyers. The IJN Oyodo light cruiser. And lastly, we have this group project of the IJN combined fleet. Lots of ships. These are by Sukhbaatar, Namsek, aurvandil, ZetaZeta, Tong, Yukikaze, SSDD. He says we've made almost all the World War II Japanese ships except the support vessels, destroyers, light carriers, and submarines. Definitely a pretty epic build, and if you're wondering, they are using Cinema 4D to render this. So next up we have Cat 1072-9054. So first off we have this 10:1 scale K2 Black Panther tank, and he also made the Tiger 1 tank in 10:1 scale as well. And here he calls this the Leopard 2A4 with a new armor kit, so it does look a bit different from the A4 version. And here's the Ticonderoga class cruiser firing a missile, and here's it traveling with the Wasp. And apparently he designed this ship in Minecraft Pocket Edition. And here's the 2:1 scale Arleigh Burke, the USS Bainbridge. And here's the M1A2 Abrams tank Set V3. He also made this US Navy carrier battle group. Next up we have Anchor Yuki, otherwise known as Yukikaze. This is the Pearl Harbor Strike Force, and it's a collaboration project between Tong, ZetaZeta, and Yukikaze. Basically they made the entire Imperial Japanese Strike Force with 6 carriers and numerous ships and planes to attack the US Navy base at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, and this is what launched the US into World War II. As for the solo projects, he has the Yorktown class carrier, the Soryu class carrier, which includes the Hiryu, and here he has a little diorama. And he's also made the Kaga aircraft carrier, and the Gleaves class destroyer, which participated in the Doolittle raid. Here it is with USS Chester and USS Hornet launching the aircraft. And here's the Mutsuki class destroyer, and it's fighting the Gleaves class destroyer. I'm not sure if this is entirely accurate or not, but it is pretty cool to see. Then we have the Cimarron class oiler used by the US Navy, and here it is refueling some other ships. It says the destroyers are by Namsec and SSDD. Then we have the Richelieu class battleship used by the French Navy, and you can tell because it has these 4 guns in the turret. So now let's go check out BT ship. So this is what he calls my naval fleet, where he's built every single ship that you see here is built by BT ship. So definitely he's a prolific shipbuilder, even building oilers, which are necessary for the Navy, a large formation of fighter jets in the sky, and this carrier, I think it's custom. And he's also made this pre-dreadnought ship, and another fleet he calls this the Arnes fleet, where he has that special carrier and lots of destroyers. And here's the USS Missouri, the Iowa class battleship, and here's the IJN Nagato class battleship. He's also made a lot of South Korean army stuff like the K9 howitzer, the K10 ammunition resupply vehicle, which is used to reload the howitzer, this old Korean army truck, the K511A1, and here's the K1A1 main battle tank, the M48A5 tank, the K2 Black Panther tank, the K55A1 based on the M108 howitzer, the K1 armored recovery vehicle, the K200A1, and here's all of them combined. So next up we have Aurvandil, the USS Missouri in 1991, the Tiger 1 tank with an interior, the Soviet KV-2 tank, the Panzer II tank, the Panzerhaubitze 2000, the Leopard 2A6, the Japanese Type 90 tank, and again the K2 Black Panther, every Korean has to build this, the Kriegsmarine Bismarck, the M1A2 Abrams tank which he made a family of, the USS Montana, the German King Tiger tank, and here's yet another Yamato battleship. And here's the 1914 Battle of Jutland in World War I, the largest naval battle of the war, fought between the British Royal Navy and the German Imperial Navy. And here's the HMS Vanguard, a fast battleship, the Japanese Akizuki class destroyer, and here's the space battleship Iowa, a parody of space battleship Yamato, which does have a diorama of the sinking of Yamato. Then here's the Montana class battleship, and here's the Yamato not on fire, and here's the Panoksun, a Joseon era warship from Korea, and here's what he calls the Union Fleet 2, just a combination and collage of different Navy ships. And for Christmas he uploaded the battleship gift box, which has a lot of Navy ships. Then we have another Imperial Japanese Union Fleet. This one is collaboration with Sukhbaatar, ZetaZeta, Aurvandil, Black Snow, Tong, Bigger Than Bigger, and Yukikaze. So now we have Tarae. So this is what he calls the Iowa Missouri, and they put like an aircraft carrier in the back of an Iowa class battleship. And here's HMS Victory in roughly 4:1 scale. He only posted 3 projects and the other one's a dragon. So here's Sukhbaatar, sounds Mongolian. Here is his fictional battleship, has a pretty cool color scheme. The planned French battleship, the Alsace, which actually never was built, and he made a Russian Victory Day gift box. And he actually made this model battleship kit, the Chinese Type 99 tank, and here's this ship, the Shuri, with a Playboy bunny flag in the back. Alright, now we have Chicken Guy. So here's his fictional Regulus Navy submarines, the US Navy's Kidd class destroyer, a Regulus missile cruiser, a Regulus battle cruiser, a battleship, and yeah, he just likes to make a bunch of different designs for ships that are, fictional. Then we have Core CV Maker. So here he made this huge landing fleet of amphibious assault vehicles in San Antonio, LHDs, V-22s, and this 31 scale Ford class aircraft carrier he calls the Midway. So that is the last person we're going to review for Anchor Shipbuilding Team. Of course, I think they actually have a lot more members since they're on Kakao Talk, which is a Korean social network, but I'm not on that. So what's happened to Anchor Shipbuilding Team now? I talked to ZetaZeta and he told me, a lot of them have moved on from Minecraft, except a couple of people, but they still remain friends. I feel like they were definitely one of the key players in the Minecraft military building scene back in the day, and I would like to honor their legacy. So I hope one of them actually watches this video. You can leave a comments down below what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.